Hey guys, welcome back to, I was going to say Trying Not to Care. I'm obsessed with that podcast, but no, this is not Trying Not to Care. I'll link it below though. No, this is It Doesn't Have to Be Perfect with your host Janine. Hi, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome. I have had such an eventful weekend. Let me tell you, I got to see my homies. I got to see all my family, like from both sides, which is so rare to like fit all that in one weekend. But there were like two parties. There was one on Saturday and one on Sunday, and I got to see my mom's side. I got to see my dad's side, and it was so much fun. Like it was pool parties for both of them. So I got to sunbathe. I got to do a little swimming, and it was so much fun. Like both parties too were like Hello Kitty and like that world themed. I think it's Sanrio. Yeah, Sanrio. They were like both of that theme. So it was just super cute. I got so many pics for Instagram too at a children's birthday party for both days. Yeah, it was so much fun. I love catching up with my family. I love just being around them. Like even if we don't get deep into conversation or whatever, but like just being around them, having a few drinks, eating good food, like catching up, like that's always just a great time for me. Anyways, but I'm back home. I'm back to my roots. And yeah, I'm starting off the week strong. As soon as I woke up this morning, I went straight into it. I pulled out my laptop and I started doing stuff for my internship, answering emails and like doing more research. And that's something I realized that I love to do. Like I love doing like the hardest thing first thing in the morning. Like the thing that gives me the most like anxiety to do, I love doing that first thing in the morning, because then it's like I wake up and my brain is so like malleable and it's fresh, and there hasn't been like clutter of like TikTok and Instagram and life and stresses and whatever, right? And I just go straight into it, and there's like a different flow when you do your work first thing in the morning. Like it's just like go. And I know a lot of people say that it's not good for you to like look at your emails and look at your phone first thing in the morning, but I beg to differ, because like if you're doing something productive or something that like you need to do and it's been causing you anxiety, and like you went to sleep thinking, oh my God, I need to do this thing tomorrow, getting it done first thing in the morning, I love it. It's like the same thing as like when people do their workout first thing in the morning and they want to get that out of the way because they're going to have a busy day. And as soon as you knock it out first thing in the morning, you don't have to think about it for the rest of the day. And it's super nice. It's super cool. And I really like that. But yeah. And yeah, this weekend was fun. I got to catch up with a friend who is going to be a teacher this year, and I'm so excited for her. I love to see my friends doing adulting things alongside with me. And I'm like, you go, girl. We got this. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Adulting, dude, 20s are, I would say, my best years, but my worst years. It's so weird. Like when you're a teenager, it's so easy to just kind of like, you don't have responsibilities, like if you're going through something, you just sit in your bed and you watch your friends rerun and you get some ice cream and you chill, like you can kind of like hibernate for a little bit. When you're an adult, you have responsibilities and you have stuff to do, and it's kind of like not up to you in a sense. Like now you have to actually go out there and like fix the issues and make your money and pay the bills and, just make a name for yourself in this world. And like that is pretty difficult to do. Like, I mean, we've all felt the pressure, right? I still feel the pressure. I'm 24 and I'm not a millionaire. And that's quite unfortunate, because every like other TikTok or reel that I see is, if you're not a millionaire by age like 22, like you're doing these things wrong, and like it'll give you a list of things that you need to improve on, and it has nothing to do with like even investing money or like how to navigate money. It'll be like, oh, sleep more, drink more water, eat healthier. Okay, like what? I already do that, but what does that have to do with me becoming a millionaire? It's so exhausting. And Like, that's why I love just like having a day full of activities where I can just put my phone to the side and I'm actually present in the real world, and I'm not thinking about that, and I'm not thinking about like the comparison to other people and how their careers are going compared to how my career is going. And like, am I even like, am I volunteering enough? Do I have a nice enough car? Am I making enough quality content? Am I like capturing every moment but being present in each moment? It is so exhausting to be in your 20s because yes, like on a day off, maybe you can hibernate, but don't forget all those 20 errands that you have to run. You have to wash your car, you have to get groceries, you have to meal prep, you have to make sure you clean the house, make sure you properly like spend time with your pets and make time for your friends and make time for your boyfriend or girlfriend. There is so much to do, and it feels like I don't have enough energy to do it all, and I have to distribute that evenly. And I don't even know how to do that because some days I don't want to do anything, and some days I have so much energy and so much hype, but it's hard for me to focus because I'm just so like, okay, let's do this, but I can't sit down and like crank out the details. You know what I'm saying? I get so super excited with a new idea or a new project that I like have on the top of my head, and if I don't do that thing right away, it feels like I lose traction on on the idea, and then I'm like, okay, so now what? What do I do now? You know, it's a balancing act, and I'll say that to the day I die. But even then, having a balancing act is sometimes even stressful as well, because you're trying to do all these things every day, like the same pattern, the same routine. For example, like I try to do first thing in the morning, like meditation, read a book, and then I'll have breakfast, and then I'll get straight into work. But some days, like today, I wanted to go straight into work because I just had that anxiety over the weekend, because I took a 3-day weekend and I was feeling like not guilty, but like I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have so much to do when I get back home. But you know what? It worked out because I filled my cup, and, you know, today I was able to crank out all the necessary stuff. And including on my list, what I did today, first thing in the morning, I bought tickets for the canceled tour podcast that's coming in October in my area, in my city. So I'm excited about that. I'm so glad I found someone to go with me. I didn't know who to go with. I didn't know people like actually like listen to it outside of like, or in my circle. And I'm so glad I found someone to go with me. I'm like, I'm so excited to see Tana and Brooke. Anyways, back to the point. You try to have like this routine to like have a balancing act, but then that routine gets disrupted because life happens, and even like mood changes, and sometimes you're too tired to do that first thing in the morning. And it's one of those things that, oh my God, for a moment I thought my mic was not on. It's one of those things that I feel like you have to embrace the imperfection of, it's always gonna ebb and flow. Like not every day is gonna go according to plan, and that's something that I for a long time like battled with, like especially my morning routine, because I got it so in my head because of all these videos and like this is my morning routine, that you have to have like a like step-by-step morning routine. And you know, every morning is a little different. Like, isn't it great that some mornings, like I get the same things on my list and I get all those done? Yes, that's super critical and important, and I'm glad I have those mornings. But some mornings are just not like that, unfortunately, and I don't beat myself up for it anymore, because I've noticed that on the days that I stop that schedule, when I come back the next day, I'm like, okay, now that I took a break, my brain is like, it kind of like resets, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to get back to my routine and do these things again, and like go by the list and like my to-do. So I do allow that flexibility now in myself and like in the things I do, because being so rigid and structured can also just be anxiety inducing in and of itself. You know, if you have to do a certain thing at a certain time, the rebel inside you, we all have that rebel. It's like when your mom tells you to make the bed when you're about to make the bed, and now you're like, I don't want to make the bed now because you told me to make the bed, and I was already going to do that, Mom. Like, you don't trust me, Like, that's where my mind goes to. Like, I remember this one time I actually cried because I was going to make my bed, and then my mom told me, but this was when I was a teenager, okay? And my mom told me to make my bed, and I started crying because I was like, I don't want to do it now, and I don't know why. Like, it's just like that rebel inside of you that it wants to do what it wants to do, okay? And it being told to do, like, what to do can sometimes just make it so that you resent that thing. And it's so silly when I think about it. Like, okay, like, be an adult, like, suck it up and do it. Like, yes, obviously that's going to happen. But it's so interesting to think about, like, that we all have that little rebel inside of our heads that when we are told what to do, like, it's the same reason why diets don't work, okay? Like, some, like, an external factor, external meal plan, or exterior person is like telling you what to do, and your body is gonna change, and it's gonna have days where it's more active and other days that it's less active, and some days you're gonna be hungrier than other days. So other days you're not gonna be as hungry, and like that's why like people end up binging and purging and like doing the whole thing, because like they're being told what their body needs, even though their body knows what it needs. I mean, we've survived thousands of years to this point, okay? The body is smart enough to tell you when it's time to eat and when you're full, and knowing and trusting that you're going to have food again. Like, you have to have that trust, because then you're going to have a scarcity mindset, and then you're going to end up binging all the cookies on the counter, So, yeah, it's so many things to consider as an adult, and having the self-awareness to be able to identify those things. Dude, like, when I meet people that don't have self-awareness, I'm like, how have you survived this far? Like, they'll say something that comes out of their mouth, and I'm like, what? Why would you say that? What's wrong with you? And like, I don't want to be mean to people who are like, don't have maybe that inner dialogue or just self-awareness in general, but some people are so dense, and I'm like, how have you made it this far? Like, we're in the same field. Like, what's like, I don't know. Like, it's very interesting, because my mom always told me, like, every mind is its own world, and every single person thinks differently, and obviously we have more similarities than differences, but everyone thinks differently. Like, the way they view the world is a little different, and the way they act is going to be a little different, and the way that they perceive things is a little different. And that's something that you have to keep in mind. Like, that's why we're such diverse creatures, because our brains just work differently, all of us, and that's shaped by also like our environment and our nurturing growing up, and what we consume, like what like, not just in terms of food, but in terms of like what we read, what shows are we watching, what music are we listening to. Your 20s are just all over the place, okay? And I've gotten to a point where I embrace the turbulence. I embrace it, and I feel like now that I've embraced it, I am so much calmer in the storm. Because yes, there are days where I hate everyone, and I'm just so upset about how unfair and cruel the world can be. But there are other days that I'm just like, I am so blessed. I have a roof over my head. I am fed. I'm employed. I have my entire family intact. Like, I am living. I'm so rich right now, There are days that change like that, and like your mood changes, and how you are viewing the world that day will change. And that's just something that we all go through, and we all like have to remember that it's a universal experience, okay? Like, it's not just you, it's all of us are going through that weirdness of like, okay, I need to figure my life out, but like, also don't forget that I exist now. Like, this current moment is also very valuable, because me 10 years ago would see myself now and be like, wow, you're doing pretty good. You know, like you're getting your master's, you're doing social media full time. Like that's so cool, dude. Like what? You know, you're working, you have amazing friends, and it's just yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful thing. And so yeah, just like remembering to be grateful once in a while, because you know it's so unrealistic to be grateful all the time. Like Olivia Rodrigo said, I'm grateful all the time. Like that's just not gonna happen, and that's not realistic. So I'm embracing the turbulence, and I encourage you to do the same, because not every day will be good, and not every day will be bad too. So there's a plus side on that. Yeah, I just hope you got something out of this and that you embrace the turbulence along with me, because we're here for the long ride, okay? We're here for the long haul, and I'm going to stick around. I'm not going anywhere. So, yeah. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.